welcome to my stream. We had some technical difficulties there. Apparently, it doesn't like it when open broadcasting software is open and recording when you try to open a game. So we're gonna get into it in a second and play some Anno 2205.
Hey Mike, what's your ETA? I'm heading back now. Proceed to 26.133 degrees north, 3.628 degrees east.
Got it.
BAW 709, heavy hold position. I'll get you moving in a minute. 107 heavy, you're cleared to go. Opening left lane, check. 107 heavy, you are cleared for departure. 277, check.
And we had made touchdown. What a great intro, I think, to any game. Absolutely gorgeous. I love the cinematography and the cinematic itself. Um, the moon. Ugh, great. So, anyways, we're going to get started with our first episode of my new Let's Play series of Anno 2205. Anybody who is familiar with the Anno games knows that it's like a city builder with an RTS. It's a strategy game with economic functions. You gotta deal with trade routes and things like that. Worry about income, population, meeting your population's needs. It'll become pretty apparent as we get into the game. I've actually got two games running, one for a wikia that I'm helping participate with. I'm using it as a sort of like a sandbox so I can record data from it. I have my main game, which I've proceeded quite far, and we're going to create a new one for our Let's Play. So let's go ahead and do that right now.
I'm glad you accepted my invitation. Samantha Beaumont, Global Union Supervisor of the Lunar Licensing Program. We
Hey,
have
Sam.
a lot to discuss. But first, I'd like to introduce you to your artificial data amalgamating messenger.
So it's like an AI, but not an
Thank
AI?
you for participating in the Lunar Licensing Program. The program stipulates that your corporation set up operative spaceports to act as bases for a new wave of lunar colonization. You will further assist Global Union in the development of a fusion energy reactor to avert Earth's impending energy crisis.
It seems like we always have an impending energy crisis. I mean, even nowadays.
Officially, only megacorporations are allowed in the program, but I personally took a stand for you. You just have to sign in with your corporation name.
Okay, corporation name. I'm really bad with corporation names, but let's do something simple. Let's name it after the series. There we go.
Thanks, but I need to see your corporate logo as well, for identification purposes.
Yeah, sure, no problem, Sam. Now, because I've been playing the game for a little bit, all of these are available, but you can see that these two aren't. It's because I haven't unlocked these yet through the game. And I'll point it out a little bit later. So let's go ahead and pick one. Let's go ahead and pick the panda. Yeah, I think that's a good one.
My superiors at the Global Union had reservations about you, but I've convinced them. They even decided to allocate you high-grade territory for new corporate headquarters. Choose a sector.
See, people already standing up for the little guys. Gotta love it. So we can do Walbrook Basin. I've started there a couple times now. Not the easiest when it comes to expansion, but it's pretty nice. Cape Ambar, I'm not really sure. Viridian Cove seems like it would be pretty difficult though. And it's all about playing the game, so let's do that.
Almost there. We just have to negotiate the terms of your contract with Global Union, funding conditions, and the like.
Oh boy, okay. Well, let's see. We do standard, which is a relaxing game for builders. Um, some nice capital. We get increased warehouse output, increased revenue per employee. That seems pretty good. Over here, though, advanced, if we end up in bankruptcy, we receive bailout funds at tough conditions. So, as much as I hate to admit it, I actually had to be bailed out in my first playthrough because I got into extreme deficit, which depleted my funds, and I hit zero. So they gave me an injection. I managed to switch it around, and it actually have a amount of time that you have to spend paying off that debt. And the higher your income, your credit balance income is, the faster it goes away, and then you get more income after that base. So, but here on expert, which is what we're gonna do, let's click it. We have no bailout. If we lose this, if I mess this up,
It's just paperwork, really. Nothing
we're
we can hold
screwed.
over long.
So we get 50,000 startup capital, we get reduced warehouse output, and reduced revenue per employee. It sounds difficult. Let's see what we can do with it.
You are now entering Phase 1 of the Lunar licensing program. The Global Union assigned you territory in Earth's temperate region to establish a spaceport and a base of operations. The construction of a space elevator to Global Union headquarters is also required. For further instructions, speak to your official contact person. Global Union wishes you success.
Big place. We'll see if it's big enough for ambitions like yours.
It is a big place.
One of my colleagues already has high hopes for the area. I'm sure he will ask you to join in his latest prestige project.
This kind of lag is normal on one of these opening
First things
scenes.
first, though. The protocol
It gets
demands you
better,
bring
I
a
promise.
spaceport into operation here.
Ah, and here's our first
The
dock. We've got a
spaceport
command
belongs
ship.
to the base
Nice.
is still unstaffed. But as soon as you've built the necessary housing, your construction team will be moving in.
Okay, yeah. I mean, could be worse. Let me just... set it to medium. See if we can't get more frames per second. There we go, better. So we need workers and all kinds of stuff, but let's take a look around first. So the bridge isn't already built. We're gonna have to build this thing eventually if we want to get to this island over here, or that part of the mainland, which is right there on the map. And then you can kind of see this little line right here. This is another bridge. Over there you can see it. And then right here, there's like some monument you can build, which is kind of interesting, right? And then you've got all of that land you can use and expand on, which is really what you want to do. But first we have to make do with this little bit of nothingness over here, right? And over here is like a trade port. when people are going to give you assignments, they'll actually come here. You can click on their ship or whatever and do a little mission for them, get things. And you can actually click here.
My prices are so low, even I don't know how I do it.
You can buy things from him. And you can, now you can't buy like advanced products because we don't have those unlocked yet, as you can see down here. So let's go ahead and get started on actually working in progress. Reset our camera, zoom out so we can see what we're doing. Now we're going to need to build a thing. A thing. We're going to need to build like a residential area. So we've built houses. We built a road to connect them so that we can actually get revenue and stuff. So let's see what we're getting right now.
I don't mind working here at all.
So our sector supply, we have no food coming in because we haven't built a farm yet. We have only a limited amount of resources to build with because we haven't built the appropriate things yet. But worker Steve right here should be fine for a little bit. And we're going to have to build 25 of these houses, which means we're going to need more materials and we're going to need more food. So let's see what we can do about that.
Organic food is perceived as needless luxury by many megacorps. Good to see you share the union's perspective.
So that's an organic food farm. This right here is a sunflower farm. We're going to build it right next to here. See, we're at a deficit already.
Great.
Build that.
Building material shortages shouldn't be an issue anymore.
Access our storages, so okay. So we're okay for now. Got more blueprints. What we got? Transportation and that. So we need this. Do some further debt. That's okay.
Expansion of workforce recommended. Been a while since I had such an important guest.
Here, so we can actually see what our revenue is. This is going to be difficult. Alright. We can actually speed up the game by holding down the plus key on the number pad. Okay, that's enough speeding up. We need more people, for sure.
Your construction crew is one of the first ready. Keep up the pace. Your competitors will try to catch up. For the next construction stage, you'll need qualified ground staff to operate the spaceport. Make sure to adhere to Union standards while providing the required infrastructure. You need this desalination plant. These days, it's the only way to come by drinkable water.
So what I just did is I built a water thing. Desalination plant. It takes salt water, turns it into fresh water, and I just leveled up, which is awesome. So I get some credits. I also have a higher account limit, which is I'm probably not going to reach anytime soon, but eventually maybe. So really what we need to do is we need to get as many people as possible, which is just like the other Anno games. So let's do that now. Okay, we're in the positive, finally. We're doing okay. Hold down the plus key some more. We can see our stuff starting to tick forward. Once we have enough employees and all that, I'm gonna have to figure out what I want to do with these factory types. Okay, so we've reached our worker limit for now. We need to build more. So what we're trying to get is here. You can see that it requires 200 workers, and it's an infodome, which is similar to some of the things we had in Anno 2070. I can't remember what they're called off the top of my head, but it works in very much the same way. You place it, you put residences around it, and they can level up.
New blueprints ready for implementation.
Okay, so here we go. We're going to put it here.
A broad range of information services.
Boom. You saw those little
Enable
chevrons?
employees to develop their interests as well as their skills.
So we can watch our credit balance now. Maintenance versus our employees. So we don't need to build another farm yet. We certainly don't need to build more water. Only 20 credits for the farm. That's pretty good. So we can actually make more of those without really worrying about bringing us too far negative. Now we can upgrade here, but I don't want to do it just yet. I want more revenue, so we're gonna build a little thing. Let me see, what kind of design do we want? Okay, yeah, we'll get rid of those. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Wanna go here? Then we can build around it. Yeah, let's do that. So everybody's still getting supplied, but we can actually start moving things. Now normally, I would just kinda delete all these houses and then redo the roads and figure out where I wanted things to go. Unfortunately, because we have to be very careful with our money, can't just delete houses in our population. We need to keep our revenue up as much as possible. So what we're going to do is we're going to build a road right down the middle of this. Take those out. Delete that. Then we put them back in. Now the reason we're doing this is you see, this is the middle, but you see how this right here, if I made another road and I connected it all the way down, it would be flush even. It allows us to do some other interesting things that we can maximize our space for the most part. Now on the other difficulties, I actually believe you get refunds on resources because this is the hard one. I don't think we get that, so we're not deleting anything. So while I'm setting up this residential area, let's talk about some reviews that have been out there about the game. Now, a lot of people have been hating on Anno 2205. People saying it's easier. They don't like that there's no multiplayer. They don't think it's a sandbox. Well, at least on the topic of it being a sandbox, I mean, I couldn't disagree more with them. It is, and it feels like it. You can choose whatever way to go about playing your game. This right here, you can completely ignore it and just kind of do your own thing and get to where you want to be. Now, it's helpful if you're starting out and you've never done it before, but it's not necessary. But it does give you a place to start off from, which is excellent. And a lot of these reviews that I've seen recently, it's mostly from people they've played the game, but maybe for like an hour, 2 hours. I mean, that's enough to do maybe one of these episodes, but it's certainly not enough to get a really good feel for the game to see, do I enjoy this? Do I
So, right then. How's things?
not? Am I preferential towards, I don't know, 1404 or whatever? You know, they don't really get a good feel for it. And this game, it takes a lot of playing, let me tell you. Not to have fun, just to really get the nuances. Because from the moment I started playing, I was enjoying myself with this game. And there aren't a lot of games that I can say that happens with. I think maybe The Witcher 3 is one. And nothing else off the top of my head. So, I mean, it's just goes to show you what kind of game this really is. Now, it would be nice if they had something like multiplayer where you could play with other people, or if you could do sort of the continuous mode from Anno 2070, which you got a seed, you had a bunch of different islands, you could do whatever you want with them. You could have as many different players on the map with you, and you could fight on that map. Now, from what you've seen, it's relatively peaceful, huh? Right? Nothing interesting, it seems. The fighting comes later. For sure, it comes later. It just doesn't happen in this sector. There are designated sectors. So let me pull up a strategy map. Here we are. So these are the temperate zones. Arctic zones go up here. Then we have our lunar zones, our space station, right? And then we have the crisis zones. Now the crisis zones appear here and here. Temperate, Arctic, and temperate. And we'll end up having to do one to progress. Well, we don't have to, but we will do it because it's an interesting part of the game that I actually enjoy doing that a lot of people uh, seem to not really like. So now these crisis missions, they're a little different. Some people think it plays more like a mini game. I think it just plays like another aspect of the game, if that makes any sense to you guys. It really having trouble thinking of the word I'm looking for. It really, okay, I know what I'm trying to say. It really shows off the combat rather than you having to worry about your ships, putting them on patrol, and then, oh, do I have to go over there and make sure nobody dies now? It gives you a chance to kind of get in there. And honestly, it's pretty fun. I enjoy it because I like seeing things blow up, and the explosions for the crisis sectors are pretty phenomenal. So how many houses we got here? 8. We've got 7. Are we on food? We're low. move in the wind park. Now, did you see see that circle? Now that circle is the same as Anno 2070. You try to overlap them, they lose efficiency. And what's really cool is it actually shows you. Here, you know what? I'll just do one so you can actually see it rather than me try to explain it. It's always better with visuals. So here we are. See, right? So area blocked. I can't put it down. But you can see efficiency 80%. You can see the red zone where it intersects. Over here, 99%. Very little touching at all. Right? Decreases as I go in, increases as I go out. 99%. It's still barely touching. One more, and I'm at 100. So that's how that works. Pretty standard when it comes to being similar to how 2070 was. And there are a lot of similarities in that respect. Similar gameplay mechanics. Now, before, where you had, everybody knows about, you try to maintain your efficiency, you try to maximize the amount of space used by your items. So like, say, this biopolymer plant, right? You know, normally I would sit down a biopolymer plant, and before I could start making things, I'd have to set the factory pieces down, and then it would start churning things out, right? I wouldn't just put one thing down and all of a sudden it starts going. They changed that so that it's a whole other part of the game that includes rare resources, which I think was a right call by the developers. It gives you a reason to go into the crisis sectors, to do optional missions, to collect these crates here. So, like, watch.
Welcome.
To collect some biopolymers. Sometimes it's like graphene or things like that. So we'll get into that nitty gritty. We're almost, I think, prepared. We just need to make these sides look like this. So I'm just going to do it really quickly and stop talking while I do it.
Business successes multiplying.
You can see I just checked to see what my surplus of food was. Now it's at +1, so everybody can eat and be happy. There we go. Can we leave it like this? No, need more food. Got another farm. How do we proceed from here? I'm actually happy with it. I think we'll do some upgrades now and move on with the campaign. So what I went into promotion mode, which is really cool. You can click and drag. To cancel it, you just right click it while you're holding down the button. You can see down here they've got options, right? You can grab and relocate. You can paste. It's like an eyedropper. So like, watch. See how it does that? The jackhammer for demolition, and then you have this, your upgrade option. And there's also hotkeys. So you don't have to go through and do one at a time. You can go over here and you can set it so that it'll enable automatic promotion, or you can just click this button a bunch of times and it'll start promoting people. I like to maintain a certain look about my town, so we're gonna I think we'll do like the ones around the center here.
All systems
Those
online.
two,
Can't wait to get started.
these two,
New blueprint.
Remarkable progress.
and those 4.
You've
Done.
assembled construction crews and ground personnel faster than I was expecting. You are
Let me
more
take a
than
look.
ready for the first major hurdle. The
You
program
can
will
see.
need to connect your city
Look
with
at
the
that
global
profit.
space station via a space elevator. We've got so far, only megacorps like the Big Five use such technology. But I'm sure you have the same potential. Trying to keep pace with us is futile. Leishang electricity moves at the speed.
Pile after pile of paper.
So you can see here, this is our corporation profile. Let me minimize this. Corporation profile, levels, blueprints, achievements. We'll take a look at this first. You can see here our level shows our progress. Now progress is measured by your population, which you can see up here, right? It tells you what your upcoming rewards are.
We should definitely get
So we get goods overview plus 10. We get plus 10 import as well, which is, it affects your trade routes, but also affects up here. So like, it affects the maximum amount of goods you can have at a time. And then these are the other corporations you're competing against, the Big Five. Alright, and you can see their level. 4, 6, 12, 15, etc. Blueprints. You can actually see all of the blueprints starting off. And it'll give you kind of an idea of where you're at. So you can see here, it took 80, right?
Let's apply for some.
And we've got
vacation
these.
time.
And we need 250 to get these right here, which is actually something we need to do. Let's go ahead and close that. Zoom out. Go back to this. Reset the camera because it drives me nuts. We need water. We need water. Okay, 0 electricity, 11 logistics left. Doing our best. So we're gonna need electricity. So let's build some wind parks. And now we need to actually build into some mountainside. So we actually have one here. We've got one over here. And I think, yeah, we're going to use this one over here. And this one. So we'll start with this one. A feldspark where it's going to make us some nanoceramics, which is a component for the Constructobots. The only thing we need to do to turn this online is connect it with the road. +5 surplus. Let's take a look real quick. You kind of see it's doing its thing. I mean, they did a lot of detail. It looks pretty good. Zoom back out. Now we need to do cobalt mine. Connect it. We need a logistics hub. As you can see, we're out. If I put it here in this spot, you can see down here in the bottom middle it says +31. If I move it around, that number changes. 27, 26, 33, 34, 36. 36 is really good. We want that. We're going to need more energy now. We're going to need a lot of energy, actually. Factory. Let's put it over here. We're going to maximize. Got that. Now we need Constructobots. We need to find some place to put this factory. Let's put it over here. We're gonna tear down some roads. let's build it. And
Good.
boom, there we
You've got all
go.
the components needed for the elevator. Only the elevator cable requires special materials you can't produce, but I arranged for a delivery.
There we go. Okay, so we're starting to get constructor bots. We have polymers. Everything's going okay for now. We're still in the positive, which is good.
You? Here?
We're gonna need vitamin drinks.
I just...
To get vitamin drinks, what did we need? 250, was it? Yeah, we've only got 80. We can actually see up here our total employees. So throughout all sectors it shows us that. So we need to upgrade some more. So let's do it. I'm gonna hold the plus key down. I'm gonna move on here. Are we gonna hit 200? We hit 200, okay. So that's pretty good. What are we at with them though?
Get up.
So
Go
how
home, go
many?
home. The usual.
So 10 per building
Got some work for
as opposed to 5. Alright. Upgrade some more. And we're there.
construction of new building types possible.
A clever move, seeing to your staff's good health. Benefits like that make you a more attractive employer. This spot here is perfectly suited to support a bridge to the other side.
So we need
Building
2,000
will give you
operators to
access
build a
new
bridge.
construction ground.
Once we can build this bridge and we get over here, oh man, it's gonna be nice. We can actually have room to build our stuff. Over here, God, I feel like I'm min-maxing as much as possible right now. It's painful. Okay, we're at our maximum amount of operators. What is this telling me? I need 1,000 total. Okay, let's do it. So this right here, our goods overview, that's what I always look at when I'm upgrading, because you need to make sure that you always have a surplus. Now, the surplus doesn't, like if it goes red and you need that item, right, you have a deficit, it doesn't mean you're out of that goods. In fact, let me hover over this and I'll show you. You can see here that it actually shows you I have 12 vitamin drinks in storage, with a 9 consumption and a 12 production. That's pretty good. That's where we want to be at right now. Whereas as opposed to the fruit, 16 production, 16 consumption. That's so it's you got to be careful. You got to watch it just in case. But it gives you some breathing room. Now that was actually one of the complaints, believe it or not, that I saw in a lot of reviews, because I like to read reviews on Steam for God knows what reason. It's just a bunch of crap in there. Now, basically, people were complaining about there not being about it being infinite storage is what they said. It's not infinite storage. You get a certain amount and you have a surplus or a deficit, which either keeps your goods at their max or diminishes them to zero, in which case you have none, right? And you can always buy from the market or sell to the world market to kind of, ease it a bit, which is exactly the way it was in Anno 2070. So I don't know what they were talking about. We need to do more upgrades again.
Construction of new building types possible.
Tidal power station. Tidal power stations are amazing, and I'll show you why. So we have one here, coastal building site. There we go. That's why it's awesome. Provides a lot of power, and you don't have to take up room on land. It's wonderful. So how are we doing here? Still doing good, so we still need to upgrade. Let's do a mass upgrade. Just click and drag, and you notice that it only upgrades whichever one you initially selected. So like if I had a bunch of executive buildings kind of peppered through here, right, and I've got some operators, I've got some investors, but I only wanted to upgrade all of the homes, regular residences, I have to click and hold on a residence, drag it through all of it, and it'll upgrade all of the residences and ignore everything else, which is a great mechanic. It makes things so much easier and allows you to actually manage other things without having to worry about, am I going to upgrade things I don't need to or don't want to. Good so far. Need more food. It's probably a bad spot. Go there now. I can actually get to the coastal building site if I need to. I can just build a road right there. Well, here we are. We've got. So far, we're all right. Yeah. Still need more operators, though. If I want to upgrade, I need more biopolymers. I can probably hit that 1,000 just by upgrading these 4 that I'm planning on doing. So actually, let's try it. Hold the plus button, speed up time. Didn't make it. Wow, alright.
Your technicians
now we
are
did.
ready. Start the elevator construction once all other requirements are met. My associate, John Rafferty, is already heading here with the special material deliveries.
Get rid of that. We're gonna move that over to here. That way we can have our square to build in. Now let's figure this out.
Got some work for me.
Okay, that's how we're gonna do it. 2 rows of 2, 1 row, 1 in the middle. Apparently there's a lack of information. That's kind of expected. The setup I used to do is 7 information center. And I did that, kind of dotted around, and then do a security center somewhere, and just kind of upgrade things. And it works really well. Unfortunately, on this little tiny island, can't do a whole lot. So we need more biopolymers. plus button so we can get more faster. And then once we've built our things, we'll just delete what we don't need. Even though we spent the resources, it should be okay. We'll make it back eventually. I have faith in our business model. I hope you do too. Oh, and that's the other thing. Now that we have operators, we've actually unlocked the ability to do residential complexes, which are actually better in the long run. So let's see here. We can actually do this. Now, residential complexes actually hold more people than 4 single homes. So you use them, you're actually maximizing your population. Did I mention they look really cool? Check out that family right there. Baby carriages. It's almost like a Tron car, isn't it?
Registered under new name.
Apartments.
Okay, where do you last see him?
It's like a smart car, but floating. Alright, let's zoom out. What are we gonna do? Finish over here. Wish I had remembered about these complexes earlier, because they're great. There we go. We actually need more water, which is funny. need more food again. How much can these people eat? Alright, now I really do feel like I'm min-maxing, considering we're at 0 power, 8 logistics, and this is not forgiving at all. So now we need to select our space elevator, or spaceport, and start the upgrade. That's not a... That's weird, it was taking me somewhere else. So here's our port. Actually, it looks kind of interesting, huh? People walking, doing the shipping and all that. I've got a little panda on there. Let's start the upgrade.
Yeah, Rafferty here. Miss Bowman assigned me to ensure the transport's safety. Approaching your sector, over. Code red. We're under attack. Code red. Damn it. The cargo. Protect the ship.
People of Earth, this is the manifesto of the moon's independence. The global union waged war on us for generations with weapons like falsehood, negligence, and exploitation. And the LEC bowed its head in servile compliance. But not anymore. Set no foot on the land of our forefathers. We are the orbital watch. The moon is free.
Just notice that the date at the bottom right was 22/05/2205.
Make it through anymore.
All right, no time to study regulations. Meet Rafferty at the coordinates transmitted. Do whatever is necessary.
Yeah, we'll go there, no problem.
Spaceport, ready for development.
Pretty cool, huh? Now, what we're supposed to do is go and get the rare materials that you see up here, iridium and graphene.
On the rise.
Whatever,
You're
Meitian.
gonna fight shooting at people.
Be quiet, John. Now, one way to actually get these resources is by playing the mobile app game Anno 2205, Android Miner, I think it's called. I've actually got it on mine, my Nexus 6 right here, and I've collected something like 900 iridium, 600 graphite. I mean, and what I can then do is I can actually transfer it from here, from my app, to my game. So I'm going to do that right now, actually. So here it comes.
It seems your asteroid mining operation is making a profit.
There it is. That's quite a lot of materials. Actually more materials than I can hold on to at the moment. So we'll accept it. I can now complete the operation, but for the sake of let's play. So here's the crisis sector we were talking about.
But one scratch. Just one scratch, and I'll just go and get him.
So now, if you're a hardcore player and you think you're the baddest of the bunch and you want to play the expert difficulty, you don't get that option right away, which can be kind of annoying. The game requires you to work your way up. You start at standard. The better you do, the more of these you get. I forget what they're called. Combat experience, I think it is. And then you can do the advanced and eventually the expert. And if you can do them all, you finish all of the missions on expert, you get an achievement, which is pretty cool. So we're going to go ahead and accept the mission. And it'll load for us. Hopefully not super slowly. Okay, now we enter it.
There. That's where still circling our cargo ship like a swarm of black flies. And I see they brought reinforcements. Gotta be careful. I've seen them before. They've no compunctions at all. Press past their blockade and free our ships. I got your back.
Sure. So this is actually pretty cool. I really enjoy this. Now, you see, we've got an entire sector to play with. These are our combat ships. This is my Titan, my Turtle, and my Spark, and they do all different things. And for this mission, we've got John Rafferty's ship with us, and he will actually heal us. Now we've got different items down here. We've got our maintenance right here, shield, mines. This is a tactical nuke, which isn't as cool as it sounds, but it does a huge amount of damage, and I will show it off. Reinforcements, which is pretty cool. If you played Anno 2070 and you used any submarines, that's what comes up. You get 3 powerful submarines that come and help you out for a little while. And then you have an EMP, which in this day and age, most people know what an EMP is. Then we have things like over here, these chevrons. These are assignments.
Look who's here.
So he wants us to get support fleet items and deliver to him. In rewards, we not only get the graphene, but we get the combat experience as well, which helps us in our advancement of our ships. And the higher your combat experience, the higher your combat level, and then you can start upgrading your ships accordingly. Now we're going to ignore all that, all those assignments, and instead, we're going to kick some butt. So these are actual fuel cells. Grab these.
We are under attack.
All we have to do is get close and they'll start auto-attacking. Spark here. His attack is area of effect. We'll grab that. Missile barrage. This is a turret over here. This is a storage unit. Iridium. This is the mine. You hit one mine, it blows them all up. Oh, those are jihad ships. They hit you and explode and they hurt. So here we're going to use a nuke. So these guys get engaged. Does quite a bit of damage. Long range turret. Build some shielding. Use an EMP. And we got a support fleet. Excellent. So now you've seen the missile barrage, and you've seen the EMP. Gonna take out this fortified tower. Grab those two because they're going to help.
Weapon systems online.
And hit the barricade.
Copy that.
Now the cool thing about this stuff right here, these support actions, is watch. So if I wanted to EMP, I can EMP from all the way over here. See? I could do the missile, I could do the support fleet. So let's do the support fleet. There they are, those subs. Pretty cool. Drop a second one. Bring our fleet in. Some shields up. Focus fire. Mission accomplished.
Our crews will thank you for it. Ah, you showed them. Knew you had it in you.
See, that's pretty good. Now, while we were doing all of that, you can see that we are still making revenue. We can actually upgrade our Titan for 1,000 credits. Let's do it. That's cheap.
Brought the ship up to date.
Excellent. So we'll go ahead and leave.
I'm glad you came back unharmed. This attack gave everyone at the Union headquarters shock, but the program has to go on. We've lost contact to Lunar Excavation Corps. It seems many moon colonies aligned with the Orbital Watch. It's all the more important your space elevator goes into operation. Yes? Is there something you wanted to ask?
So as you move through the story, you actually get to kind of go back and look at some of the stuff. And it'll tell you the story of the game, which is very, very cool. So here's our spaceport. We've got our graphene that we needed. Let's finalize construction.
Cable firmly attached. Elevator car ready for departure. Attention. Approaching Global Union Space Station. Prepare for docking.
Congratulations! The first step into space. All purviews of the global economy are now accessible for you. Phase 2 of the Lunar Licensing Program starts now.
I'm way too old for adventures like that. Gotta pass next time. So you better make sure you got a decent battle fleet. Stop by the dockyard if you want any ships built or revamped and that.
So it's pretty good so far. We now have an orbital elevator, which means we have access to the world market. So if we go to
In the Arctic,
here,
all your actions will fall under the supervision of the Arctic Custodians. Let's have a look at their territory.
so here, now this guy's not grayed out anymore, right? Click on him, you see he's got all these goods. He's got some Arctic goods here too, because we're about to get access there. But say I needed water for some reason, right? Or there's an achievement. Have a surplus or generate or produce. No, it's produce 250 water in one sector. I think it's called quench your thirst or something like that. And there's quite a few achievements that are pretty funny. This is one of those, and the way I did it is I actually just bought it from the world market really quickly because I was generating enough revenue I could afford it. So like if I wanted to do that, I've selected my good, now I select my sector, the world market, now I select my target sector. And here it tells me he can sell me 20, because that's my max right now because I haven't leveled up enough. And it'll cost me 45 credits a minute. And this will last for 2 hours. So if I hit confirm,
Goods are on the way.
you can see there's a timer here. When you get down to about 15 minutes, a notification will come up and it'll ask you, do you want to renew your trade route? And you can select yes, or you can say no. You can come in, you can delete it at any time, which is exactly what I'm going to do. You can modify it, right? You can have it be whatever you need it to be. I'm just going to delete it.
Either it's profitable, or it has to be deleted.
Exactly. It's profitable or it has to be deleted. And you can see the crisis zone is grayed out. When we go back in, we'll have an option to actually go back and play it again at a higher difficulty. Right here, this is your girl that's been doing the tutorial.
Yes?
Click on her,
Is there something you wanted
brings
to
to your
ask?
assignment screen. You can actually look through the lunar licensing phases, which just tells you the story of the main game. Then we have John here.
Found us, did you? Here's where all the little ships come from. It's also where they get repaired or improved. Just give the order.
Yeah. So if we want to get other ships, not motherships, other ships, you actually have to improve your military level. This is what I was talking about with the combat experience. So the upcoming reward is the veteran turtle. So this, I'd be able to upgrade it. This is the external resources from, you can see the Anno 2205 asteroid miner, or you can get resources through Ubisoft club actions, which so you just go into the Uplay launcher or shift F2 while you're playing, and if you've accumulated enough Uplay points or whatever they're calling it now, you can go and you can get a cache of resources. I think it's like 500 of each that you can then use, and those rare resources are used to upgrade your buildings and their efficiency. And we're going to go into more about that in the next Let's Play. The final thing before we sign off, I wanted to show the World Council. So we can go here to this lady.
This is where the course of the world economy is decided. You can influence those decisions. It all depends on who you support. I'll make some recommendations here and there.
Yeah. So she will. Now this tells us when the voting ends and when we can vote next, basically. You get different things, right? But so what's this? Credits. The finance calculator.
At Ibarra Foxcom, communications is taking on an entirely new dimension.
They'll talk to you, obviously. But these are special modules that you get. But you also see you get for voting if they make it. So like if I voted for, let's say, Luca here, and he got selected, I would get these modules. But even if I voted for Luca and say this chick right here, the annoying voice, she's the one that gets the vote, the final vote, right? There you go. Here you can see it's not her, but say if it was her at the end, then we would get these modules to be able to use. And the council actually will end up dictating a decrease in maintenance and costs for building things, certain factories and resource gathering buildings. It's pretty interesting. And you see this down here, that you'll receive rare materials. That's a bribe, and there are 2 achievements, one for accepting and one for denying bribes. It's 20 of them. And then there's achievements for voting for the first time, and there's achievements for voting a total of 10 times for each person, right? Now that's basically a year's worth of voting if you do it about once a week. But here's the secret: if you just make new corporations over and over again, you can actually go in and vote, and it counts towards your achievement. So technically, I can make 10 corporations, vote with all of them for the same person, then delete all of them, and I'd still have the achievement. So there's that little helpful hint. So we're actually gonna vote for Sayman.
Thank you for your support. It's hard to find someone who understands the dictates of the business world.
Yeah, whatever. And then next time, we're going to access the Arctic zone, which is even more grueling than the temperate. It's unbelievable. But we'll get more into that next time. So for now, thanks for watching the stream. I really appreciate it. If you like it, if you like the video, please make sure to like or subscribe, or leave me a comment. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you hate me, whatever. My contact details are down below. You can contact me on Steam, xHamr. It's pronounced hammer. You can get to me on Uplay, MikeRHammer, no spaces. Or you can catch me on Twitter at Eve Jeremiah Cole. So thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next episode.